Hi, it's John down in my basement, not at my regular seat. It's later in the day right now, and I was enjoying a cup of tea. I don't drink coffee later in the day as I do in the morning, and I got an email this morning. I'm at my computer, and I thought this would be a teaching moment for people in the United States who are on the left. Now, the email came from Alberta Institute. Now, the Alberta Institute sends me these emails every week telling me what's going on in government, what's happening in Edmonton at the Alberta legislature. And they sent me an email today about a specific topic that's rather contentious in the United States. And seeing that they just went through an election, this might be a teachable moment for the far left and the loonies in the United States. Now, after the election, there was lots of information that Kamala Harris only won in states that didn't have voter ID. So I looked up online to see if this was true, and there's lots of places where you can look this up, but I came to a website called Verify This, and I verified this on some other websites as well. But there are 14 states that don't require voter ID, meaning there's 36 states that do of some sort, okay? Now, Vice President Kamala Harris won 12 of them. So she won a vast majority. Now, she didn't win in Nevada and Pennsylvania. Donald Trump won those. So people would say, well, look, she won pretty much all the states that don't have voter ID. Well, you could say that, but you could also say the reason why she won those states was because they're far left states. That's why they don't have voter ID, and those people were going to vote for her anyway, even if they would have had to show voter ID. But the left is always saying that voter ID is racist. For some reason, they seem to think black people are too stupid to get identification, and that's not the case. Which brings me to the email I got from the Alberta Legislature and Alberta Institute today, and this is what it reads. And I'll explain what happens when we vote here in Alberta. The Alberta government is considering adding citizenship status to driver's licenses as part of an effort to enhance election security. Service Alberta Minister Dale Nally said it would help ensure voters are Canadian citizens. Premier Danielle Smith highlighted concerns over potential foreign interference, emphasizing the need to strengthen trust in elections. Although the proposal is still in the early stages, Nally's office noted it is part of a broader plan to modernize registries. So let me explain what happened the last time I voted in a provincial election or in a federal election, but I'll go with the provincial one just to give you an idea. Here in Alberta, Canada, I had to vote at a school. It was basically across the street from where I used to live here in Calgary. So when I went in the front door of where they had the polling place, somebody came up to me who worked with the election and asked me for my identification. Okay? So I walked through and I got to the door of the gymnasium where you voted, and I stood there with a bunch of other people, and another person came up to me and they said, "May I see your identification?" And I had to show my ID. Then when I got into the room and I got actually to the table where they handed me my ballot, paper ballot by the way, they asked me for my identification, and they found me on a list, and they scratched my name off. And that's what happens when you vote here. Everybody has to show their identification, and the last time I did it, I had to show it 3 times. And just imagine how easy our elections go here. We know very quickly there's not a lot of recounting unless it's really close in some ridings here in the country, but nobody gets concerned about voter ID here. So I think it's an absolute necessity in every place to have voter ID. Most countries in the world, you have to show ID before you vote. So maybe the United States and those 14 states that don't have voter ID will change their ways. And in the next election, you'll have to show your ID before you can vote. Thanks for watching.